Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week we have a lot going on at the temple. We have our congregation's annual meeting. We'll be electing a new board and a new president. And then, assuming it all goes well in the election, we'll be installing our new board at services. And Shabbat morning we'll celebrate the bat mitzvah of Jenny Seidberg. It also happens to be an important Shabbat for me personally. 10 years ago I was ordained as a rabbi at the Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati. And as part of that ceremony, the chancellor of the school, the president of the school, he's now the chancellor, put his hands on my head and physically blessed me. And that comes from the Hebrew word samuch, which means to be very close or to touch. And the term for ordination is often called smicha, which comes from that same root. And so the question is, why does our tradition believe in touching? And I think the answer is actually very simple and very clear. There is something profound with that kind of laying of hands and blessing with a physical touch. There is a human component, and there's also something very holy that goes on when two people connect that way and can touch that way. And so it isn't just the power that one person has to ordain another, but the power of a hug, of a nice touch, of a kind touch, can go so far. And our tradition lays this all out actually in this week's Torah portion. The Levites, as they were installed as the priests of our people, had smicha. They had hands laid upon them and they were touched. And in doing that, our tradition lays out this example of what a positive, good touch can be and how important it can be. And if you come to the bat mitzvah on Saturday morning, you'll see that when the cantor and I bless our bat mitzvah student, as we do with all of our b'nai mitzvah students, we place our hands on their shoulders to bless them and to give them that special link and that special moment as well. And we also do that in installation and all sorts of other times. And so while we live in a world where all too many people have been touched in inappropriate ways and where people have abused their situations, there is still within our tradition this business of an idea of a sacred, holy touch that can be highly powerful and highly useful, but it needs to be protected and it needs to be cared for. And I know what it felt like for me to have the hands of that rabbi upon my head and my shoulders when I was ordained. And I hope that when I give that kind of blessing to a bar or bat mitzvah student or to anyone else, that they feel a little bit of that sanctity as well. So this Friday evening, we have our annual meeting, our congregational annual meeting, which will begin at 5:30 with a Chinese buffet. And then the dinner follows, I believe, at 6:30. And then services will be at 7:30 in the evening. Shabbat morning, we have text study at 9, Torah study at 10, and at 11 we will celebrate the bat mitzvah of Jenny Seidberg. And in the coming week, things are beginning to settle down a little bit because it's summertime, and in June some of the classes have come to an end. But we are hard at work at building the calendar for next year, filled with all sorts of wonderful classes and opportunities to learn and grow and explore and experience all sorts of wonderful pieces of our Jewish tradition. For now, though, I wish you a Shabbat that has that holy touch, that smicha, that sense of holiness that comes from connecting with a human being physically. And I hope that you get the opportunity to celebrate that and feel that holiness just as I did 10 years ago, and as our children do when they become bar and bat mitzvah, and as hopefully we can experience in our own lives. Shabbat Shalom for now. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.